Hello, welcome to the Trial Podcast. I'm your host, Bo. This is my co-host, People's host, Denny. How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm excellent. Queensland are going to smash New South Wales in a couple of days, so I can't wait for that. Really excited. Before we get into the game, there was some big news during the week, probably the biggest news in football this year. I try to explain it to someone that doesn't watch football that it's like Tom Brady being ruled out of the Super Bowl. That's how big it is, especially for Queensland. How did you react to Cam Munster being ruled out on Wednesday night?
Oh, I was like, yes.
Really?
Well, a part of me was like, oh, that's no good, because I want you. You want your team to beat the opposition when they're at full strength, just to know that you're better than them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like it, but I
You
wasn't
liked it.
I wasn't angry about it. Let's just say that.
See, I've never been like that. I would hate it if any like good New South Wales player was out of the decider. I would hate it because I want to watch the best players play all the time. It's like going to an NBA game and you're going against the Lakers and LeBron doesn't play. Like that's shit because he's the best and you want to watch the best and I want to watch the best and Cam Munster, especially in game one, he put on one of the best performances we'd ever seen, and now that's been taken out of this game. So I don't like it. I can understand from a bias perspective where you're at, but I just don't react like that to that kind of news. Taulagi also ruled out. We've got to mention that.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about the COVID rat testing just in general. No one in their everyday job gets rat tested anymore, right? No one. If you're feeling sick, then you go get a rat test, and then if you're positive, you isolate, whatever.
Yep.
Not only at NRL level, they've got a rat test every day, every single day. In State of Origin, they rat test twice a day. They rat test in the morning and in the night.
Yep.
And then, ever since this positive, the people that were around Munster and Taulagi have had to rat test 3 times a day.
One breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, well, it's like they're trying to get people ruled out of this game. Why are they testing people if they're healthy?
Isn't like the camp? Aren't they like by themselves the whole time anyway? Just like
No, they're not in a bubble anymore.
Okay.
They used to be in a bubble. They're not in a bubble anymore. Nor should they be, because their rules should reflect the rules in the community, I think. I don't understand why they're testing if they're not sick. Both Munster and Taulagi are both asymptomatic. They're fine. They weren't sick at all when they got their positive case. Why are players still testing if they're not sick? That's what I don't understand. It's like they're trying to rule. Like, imagine if today James Tedesco and Nathan Cleary test positive for that. That ruins the game, though. It's shit for the game in general. Less people will watch.
You think less Queenslanders will watch because Munster's out?
You think more Queens? Oh, I do think less Queenslanders will watch. 100%. I think a lot of people have put a nail in this result already. I haven't, but I think a lot of people have. I just think the NRL is shooting himself in the foot. Like, I just don't understand what benefit they get from testing players if they're not sick. If they're sick, then you test them. They're positive, then you rule them out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have they done the actual test? The
PCR, yeah. They
yeah.
have.
And what did they come back? Positive, negative? Do we not know?
Both. Yeah, they're both positive. That was 3 days ago.
Okay. I haven't watching the news or anything. All right. Well then, yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I just what advantage does the NRL get from testing players? I just don't understand it. I think their lives should reflect everyone else's lives, especially in this country. No one tests unless they're sick, and if you're sick, then you test. And if these players were sick, like if Cam Munster was sick with the flu or anything else, gastro or anything, he probably wouldn't play.
Yeah.
So I think that should just reflect that. Anyway, the people that come in for them, Corey Oates come in on the wing, and Tom Dearden has come into the side. They have not confirmed their lineup though, but Corey Oates will play on the wing. What do you think about Corey Oates being brought in over Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow because he was already in the squad?
Yeah. Look, I don't like it. I think Corey Oates had his time. I think the Hammer's got a spot in the squad for the future. So, And I think he's a better player than Corey Oates too. I don't know why you wouldn't just bring him in, considering he's already in the squad. But other than that, I mean, it's not a bad pick. He's in pretty good form at the moment. He's not doing too bad at club level, so...
I just thought Corey Oates has played more consistent footy than the Hammer this year. I kind of liked it. The Hammer's, one, rarely played on the wing. Two, games he has played, a lot of that's been off the bench or in the centres. So I just thought it was a little bit safer to go Corey Oates at that time. I just don't understand them picking all these people in squads if they're not the next man up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not making any sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
That was the same thing I said to you last week about Chad Townsend. There's no way in the world, if Nathan Cleary goes down, Chad Townsend plays 7. No chance.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I could probably find a list of 6 or 7 players that would go in there pre-Chad Townsend, if not more.
You said that you'd maybe chuck Luai at 7 and Jack White into 6.
I think that's an option before that.
Yeah.
I think Reynolds coming back for 1 game's an option before that. I think Mitch Moses is definitely an option before that. Mitch Moses has got to feel dudded here. He was in the camp last year, played game 3, then a spot opens up and he doesn't get a spot in there. So just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know why they're putting players in the squad if they're not going to play them if there is an injury. That's not making a lot of sense to me personally.
Yeah, like you'd bring someone in the extended bench and then bring someone in new to put on that extended bench instead of just bringing someone new completely, yeah.
I know. Well, let's talk about who replaces Munster. Where's your head at there?
Well, it has to be Dearden. Like, it has to be. Like, another 6? I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Tyson.
Well, Dearden's in the side. Dearden will play.
Oh, so it's 100%, but it hasn't been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed whether he starts 6, but he is in the side. He is in the 17, 100%.
Okay, well, he has to play 6. Like, who else do they have?
I think Ben Hunt plays 6.
You think Ben Hunt comes into 6 and Tommy Dearden on the
100%.
bench?
100%. I think Ben Hunt will play 6. I think he's a bigger threat with his running game. He's in good form in the halves at the Dragons. I think he was leading the Daily M before it went behind closed doors. He's got a good kicking game, takes a little bit of pressure off Daly. With the kicking game, they're going to need that desperately. They're going to need a good kicking game. They need to control where they turn the ball over to New South Wales, 100%. So I think they go Ben Hunt and Daly Cherry Evans and Harry Grant at 9. If Harry Grant needs a rest, you did and maybe gets 10 minutes, and then you bring Harry Grant back in. But I'm predicting Harry Grant plays 80 minutes.
So where would Tommy Dearden come in?
I think maybe 5 minutes before halftime he pops up, just plays in the middle, and just plays like a roving role. Maybe either side of halftime at best, I think.
Okay, that's not... I totally forgot about Ben Hunt. Just until when you just mentioned him just then. That's not a bad shout, yeah.
I think that's the way they got to go. I think it's too big a leap for Dearden to come in, start at 6. He's got 0 big game experience. He's had a good year, but this is the pinnacle of rugby league.
Yeah.
Like, you take away a grand final, this is the highest level you can get. Decider, Suncorp, like Queensland's hopes all riding on you. Their best player ruled out.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big, big mountain for Dearden to climb. So I think they'll go Ben Hunt. And Dearden doesn't do a lot of the long kicking game too at North Queensland. Chad Townsend does a lot of that. And I think they're going to need a good kicking game. So I think Ben Hunt is the goer, personally.
Yeah, right. No, that's bloody really good. Honestly,
All right.
Forgot about Ben Hunt.
I want to talk about also a weakness, I think. Well, not a weakness, an advantage I think Queensland have over New South Wales in a game where New South Wales have pretty much every advantage going into it already. I think our middle is better than your middle. I like our middle. I like our leg speed through the middle, especially with Collins, Pat Carrigan, and Tino. I think that's a really good call there. Josh Papali'i is going to do what he's going to do. He hasn't played a lot of minutes this series, but you know what he can bring. But Collins in particular, he's having a really good series. I reckon they missed him dearly last year. And he's playing really good for the Roosters as well. Pat Carrigan, we've seen what he can do off the bench. And Tino's just a monster. He'll be the biggest player on the field come next Wednesday, 6-4. I like our leg speed through the middle, and I think if we can control where we give you the ball, i.e. Daly Cherry Evans and Ben Hunt turning the ball over in the right areas, us defending very well early in the tackle count, and then that can kind of negate Burton's kicking game, because you're only really worried about the bomb for Burton. So if you're turning the ball over and keeping them in their own end, that's going to negate that side of New South Wales attack.
Yeah.
Then you just worry about you turn Nathan Cleary back into the sole kick option and you attack him, and I think that's where we can win the game.
Yeah,
we need to have a good kicking game and lots of leg speed through the middle, win the field possession, and then I don't think we got many points in us. That's unfortunate, especially with Munster out. I think that brings limits where our points can come from, but I think we can win it in other areas, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah, with the forward pack being better, I think it's tough. I think Queensland might have a better pack. I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking middles.
Yeah. Front row.
Your edges are really good.
Yeah, like front row lock, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think Payne Hass is a huge loss for New South Wales. And maybe 100%. Even Jordan McLean, because Jordan McLean's having a great year with the Cowboys. For him to be excluded and Jacob Saifidi, they say he's coming in.
Yeah.
Has it been confirmed whether he's starting or come off the bench?
They haven't confirmed their lineup, but it sounds like he'll start. But they haven't 100% confirmed that yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think you might be right, because we've been going on about Pat Carrigan for the last however long. He's a great player. I do like Lindsay Collins. As you said, he's having a great year with the Roosters. Maybe if Queensland get a roll in down the middle, you might be spot on there.
I want to touch on what you said, because it's almost like no one's talked about it. Payne Hass.
Yeah.
Payne Hass has been the premier forward in the competition, definitely a front rower for 3 years now.
Yes.
If he's not the best front rower, he's top 2 with James Fisher-Harris. He's unbelievable. He gets through a ton of work, and he's a 60, 70-minute front rower too. So he also helps you out with your interchange, because you don't really have to rotate him that much. That's a massive loss. And they did speak on the Regan Campbell-Gillard thing, how they haven't picked him. Freddie said, just right now, the football he plays doesn't suit the football they want to play.
I don't know what's going on there. Like, he's big, he's aggressive, and he works hard. Like,
baffles.
Yeah, don't know.
I don't understand. I thought he was great in game 1. I thought he was one of their best forwards.
100%.
Yeah, and I think he plays a very similar brand of football to, what's the name, Junior Paulo. I think they play very similar. They bang counter punch, and they play very similar at the Eels, and the Eels play on the back of it really well. So I don't see what Jacob Saifidi offers that side that Regan Campbell-Gillard can't do better.
He's the only upside to Jacob Saifidi is he's young. But other than that, I think Regan Campbell-Gillard's got him covered in almost every other aspect.
Yeah, it does make sense to me. Is there anything you see for New South Wales that they have over Queensland?
Look, before you brought up Ben Hunt, and I was thinking Dean was playing in the 6, I was just going to say, I think they've got better edges than Queensland's. Yeah. And like, if you've got either Cam Murray or Liam Martin running at Tom Dearden, where didn't he playing on the right? So is that Cam on the left?
On the left, yeah, he defends on the left.
Right, so you have Liam Martin running at him and just pestering him all game. That was about it, but I guess they got
to go Ben Hunt. They have to go Ben Hunt.
But Ben Hunt, he's a solid defender. I think he's a better defender than Cherry Evans. I think when Cherry Evans and Dane Gagai, they play on the same side, I don't think they work really well. Don't. And you've seen that in the last 2 games. Like, Dane Gagai has missed, 17 tackles in 2 games. I think that's you just got to keep on attacking there. You know it works. Why go somewhere else?
But fundamentally, they defend different too. You notice Gagai likes to shoot. He likes to shoot and shut down the ball, where Cherry Evans is a push and slide.
Yeah.
So they're just always getting on the outside of him, because Gagai's shooting, Cherry Evans sliding, they're not working together.
Yeah.
Poor winger on that side is just standing there going, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, but you've got to think that Billy Slater's, he's seen that the first 2 games, and he's he's got it into him. Like, you either both got to push up or you both got to slide and push.
Yeah. Well, I think they're both on notice for this game. I think
yeah, for sure.
if they don't perform well, could be the last 2 games they play in an Origin jersey. Another position I wanted to talk about, Jeremiah Nanai. Now, he's on the edge. I think it's highly unlikely that he'll start the game.
Okay.
I think they'll start Jairo, a little bit more aggression. You know what you're going to get from him. The start of the game, the first 20 minutes is not about points. It's about that's Origin time. That's like just bashing your opponent, completing your sets, nothing special. I don't think Jeremiah Nanai suits that brand of footy. I think he's more
silky.
He's where we're going to get points.
Yeah,
like if we're going to get points, it's going to be in and around him, but not in the first 20 minutes. I think. Could you see a swap there?
I could see, but I could also see him starting as well.
Or even Tommy Gilbert. I reckon Tommy Gilbert's a great mould for that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see him starting.
So Tommy Gilbert into the back row, and then he can move into the middle when Jeremiah Nanai comes on. That's what he does at club level. So I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to go with that.
Yeah, I don't think this is out of reach for Queensland. I think it's very unlikely that they'll have enough points to go with New South Wales. Suncorp will help.
Yeah.
But Munster's such a big loss. Munster is just unbelievable. Like, that is...
Yeah.
You could almost lose anyone else from this side and it doesn't hurt as much as losing Munster.
Yeah, exactly. He's great, like, just creating something out of nothing.
Yeah. And that's what they'll need. A little bit of unpredictability around him and just getting some people nervous. How do you think this game's going to pan out?
Look, how I think it's going to pan out. Look, I think it'll be a bit of back and forth to start the game. I don't think anyone will really get complete control of the game. I think it'll be kind of end to end. But wait until the fatigue sets in, and then I think that the points will start to come then. It just depends. If Queensland can make it like a messy kind of like grinding game, I think then they would have more of a chance to win. But if it becomes kind of like you score, we score kind of thing, I think New South Wales have more points in them, if you know what I mean.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that because it's almost like if they play footy, New South Wales will win.
Yeah, for sure.
But if Queensland make it dirty, make it a dogfight, make you fight for everything, hitting people off the ball, like all that kind of rubbish stuff. If they make it really, really, and make the Blues have to do it the hard way, maybe they won't have it in them. I'm going to give you my score prediction.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone could expect you to go. You to say Queensland will win, and you to say New South Wales will win in the decider.
Yeah.
That just jumps out the window. So Queensland will win. I'm going to say they jump to an early lead and hold on. That's how I think they'll win.
Okay.
Queensland by 4, and I think the score will be 20-16. I just think they win by 4 points. That's where I'm going.
Ooh, I've gone similar. I've gone New South Wales to win 20-12. Just because back in the Rugby League Live 2 days, you'd always see that score 20 points to 12, and that's what I'm basing my prediction on.
Just a bit of an omen.
Yeah, a bit of an omen.
I like it. Man of the match, I'm going Harry Grant. I think he's going to have an all-time Origin 3 performance. I think he maybe sets up a try. I think he plays 80, 40 to 50 tackles, somewhere around there in the middle. They probably write a book on it at some point. They call it No Grant, No Glory, something like that. I just think he has a really, really big game in the middle of the park, stands up and wins the game.
Right. Nice. I've just gone Teddy. I think he's been great, and I think he might even take it to another level.
Is that what you've got written there?
No, that's not what I've got written there.
Look like you. You can go get the dog if you want, and I'll just...
I will.
I don't think Teddy will take it to another level. I know for a fact Danny doesn't watch these back. So, Queensland 1,000-0. All the New South Wales players just fold. They never play another game again. All right, welcome. Let's do Player of the Series.
Player of the Series.
I'm going to say New South Wales player wins Player of the Series.
All right, who is it?
So I'll I'll let people have to sit on that. You give us yours, and then I'll give you mine.
I'm just going Cleary. It's a safe option. Like, I'm sorry, it's a bit of a cop out, but I have to go Cleary.
I think Teddy will win Player of the Series.
Okay.
Because I think Harry Grant will win Man of the Match, and he didn't play outstanding in the first two, so I don't think he can win Player of the Series. I think if New South Wales win, the halfback always gets blamed for the loss. They'll give it to Nathan Cleary for some bizarre reason. And then I think that leaves one other player that would have been good in every game. You've just got to expect that Teddy has a good game in Game 3.
Yep.
So I think he'll win Player of the Series. And I tell you what, for me, he's already the number one fullback that's ever played for New South Wales.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, you agree with that?
I do agree with that. He's awesome. What he does just kind of goes kind of like under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
But he always gets through his work. Always.
He could run for 250 metres, break 9 tackles, and people would still say he was ordinary.
Yeah, for sure. He's great. He's awesome.
I think he's getting a lot closer to Billy as the years go on. I think he's just doing what he does at a higher level every single week.
Yeah.
And right now at the Roosters, and for the last year and a half, he's had that team on his absolute back. They would have missed the 8 last year if it wasn't without him.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, well, that's all I got for you for Origin, mate. Queensland win easy. That's what I gathered from that.
In no universe does that ever happen.
Oh, we didn't do a first try scorer. I think we start quick. I think it's going to be a forward for Queensland. I'll go. Or maybe an edge. Who's on that left edge? Catewell. Catewell scores first off Harry Grant.
A quick play the ball. He fakes the open side, goes short side.
Yeah, bang. Try time.
No, I'm gonna say the left back rower scores first. I'm gonna say Cam Murray. Look, I'm gonna go the opposite player.
All right.
Cam Murray
runs
straight over Gagai and Cherry Evans.
Yeah, I hope not. Jeez, I hope not.
But you can see it happening.
Yeah, we'll probably jump on Wednesday after the game. Look, if Queensland lose, I'll apologise now for my behaviour on that show.
I'm not going to be on the show if New South Wales lose.
Because I'll be down in the dumps, man. I'll be so far down in the dumps.
If New South Wales lose, I'll get dangerously drunk, and I'm trying to do Dry July, and I don't know what I'll do.
You'll cry because you failed Dry July and New South Wales lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, let's get into these games. The Sharkies, great win for them, 28-6 over the Storm. Storm obviously missing a lot, but 2 weeks in a row, very unlike Melbourne performances, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put it down to that they're missing players due to Origin, because I don't think Melbourne's ever been about that.
Yep.
Like, even when they've had players out, they've still been there. They've still, looked pretty good. But I can't even remember the last time Melbourne lost 2 games in a row. I just can't even remember that.
And the Manly game, that last 5 minutes, kind of covers up, puts like a blanket on how bad they were. They were terrible.
Yeah, they were really bad. What was the score
terrible in this game? I'll have a look quickly. But they were down 20-0 in this game, which is just, I couldn't believe the score.
Yeah.
It was 36-30 at the end of the game. They scored, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 points in the last 6 minutes.
Far out.
Yeah. So they were terrible then. They were terrible this week. They were a little bit better in the second half. Good win for the Sharkies, though. You can only beat what's in front of you. And I thought they played well. They attacked them really well the first time they played them as well. I didn't think they'd have this many points in them without Nico Hines and Toby Rudolph.
Yeah, for sure.
They were great.
Look,
they were really good.
I was going to tell the blokes at work, I was going to be like, "Oi, Melbourne Storm 13 plus, Nico Hines."
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything. Luckily, I would look like an idiot. But yeah, the Sharkies.
Sharkies, good win.
Yeah, good win for 'em.
Biggest moment in this game, Brandon Smith obviously sin-binned with the ball. What'd you make of that?
I don't know what he said. He must have said something pretty bad for the ref to just straight away, bang, you're gone in the bin.
He called him a cheat. Well, you just can't do it. You can't question the referee's integrity.
Yeah.
That's like, if he had told him to fuck off, he probably wouldn't have even been penalised. To be fair.
Yeah. Look, I think it could have been a penalty to the Storm. There's 2 second efforts there. There was a second and third effort.
No, I thought it was a penalty.
Yeah.
I thought it definitely was a penalty.
Yeah, and then he's gone, yep, you, Brandon Smith, you're gone. So he called him a cheat. Yeah, I guess you can't do it, so.
You can't. And he's been referred straight to the judiciary. I think that's just a little bit of an overreaction. I think the referee dealt with it well on the field.
Yeah.
If you want to fine him. I don't think he should miss any weeks.
Yeah, no.
But it's looking like he will miss weeks. So I don't really understand. Like, I thought the ref done a good job. We could have just left it there. Brandon Smith apologised after the match. He said obviously you can't do it. People saying that that's soft from the referee. They've got to have like a thicker skin. That's one thing forever in rugby league that you can't do. You can't question the referee's integrity.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if you had told him to fuck off, nothing would have happened.
Yeah. There's those fans, I thought those Sharkies fans with flogs.
Yeah, they were
saying stuff to Brandon Smith as he's walking down the tunnel. I just don't get why fans like feel the need to go and like say stuff to players while they're walking off. Like just let it be.
Yeah. There was reports that he was spat on as he was walking down. That's not true. That's been debunked. The next game, Knights, Rabbitohs. Now the Knights shot out. They were good early, the Knights. I think they were up
16-6. 16-6, yeah.
They were looking all right. Reports are that they might offer Anthony Milford 3 more years too.
He's looked good.
Right.
He's looking good down there. He looks like he's looking fit. And
and that's something you haven't been able to say about Milford for a number of years. The fitness. He's always had the ability, but his fitness has been way down.
Since they made the grand final, I think after that his weight kind of just spiraled out of control a little bit.
Yeah, it sucked for him. Everyone talking about that all the time, but I mean, he's paid to be fit, so
paid the big bucks, paid a lot of money,
100%. But then the Rabbitohs got back into the game. I thought Cody Walker probably had one of his better games of the year.
Yeah.
Latrell was obviously he just adds another dimension to this side, and probably for the first time this year they look really good going left. I think Richie Kennar got a hat trick. I had him for 2 or more tries at like $8. It was nuts.
Money bags.
Couldn't believe it. That was over by halftime. So,
you love to see it.
What'd you make of this?
Oh, look, I was thinking, hold on. Like when the Knights were leading 16-6 and they're looking pretty good, I was like, hold on, we got a game here. And then I think it was like a 10-minute period right before halftime. The Bunnies just went on a roll and scored, 3 more tries or something like that. And ended up leading at the break 24-16, sorry. But yeah, after that, I think the Knights really struggled to kind of get back into it. And
they're not good. They're not good from behind, the Knights.
Yeah, nah, definitely not.
That intercept try to Cody Walker just broke him. Yeah, 100%. What'd you make of the end of the game? David Clemmer, Kiel Matangi were getting into it. It was good to see Clemmer fire up. I know we've seen that in a while. But then the Clemmer elbow, did you make much of that?
No. He like the bloke was doing the same thing to him. Like ran into him and gave him a forearm like to the face or to the throat, wherever. And then Dave Clemmer just did the same thing back. I think maybe a little bit more force in it, but nonetheless, same thing.
I thought the ref probably overreacted a little bit. Probably didn't need to send him from the field.
Yeah.
I thought Latrell was lucky to stay on the field, to be honest.
Being like third man in there.
Yeah, third man in. They just totally escalated the situation. I thought he has a bad habit of that, and it just made it look all messy at the end of the game. I thought he was lucky to stay on the field. The Rabbitohs need him desperately to stay on the field. Desperately.
Yeah, for sure.
They can't afford him to get suspended. And to be honest, he kind of owes this club a little bit. He's been either injured or suspended big chunks of this contract. So, and I think he's trying to replay that. We saw that with him opting not to play for the Blues, but he's just got to try and keep his cool a little bit.
Yep.
Someone asked us to talk about, do we think the Rabbitohs are a chance heading into the finals, especially with like a fit Latrell? I don't know if they can be consistent enough to challenge those top teams, but I think they can get into the second week of the semi-finals. I think they can knock out one of those bottom 4 of the top 8.
Yep, I'm with you there. I don't. we'll have to wait and see like how they go over the next few weeks to really tell where they're at. But so far since Latrell's been back, I mean, they've looked pretty good. So
I think there's only 5 teams that can win the comp. I think maybe the Sharks, Cowboys, Panthers, Storm, and who's that other one? Para. They're the only teams I think can win the comp.
Okay, nice.
With a full asterisk on Penrith, like they're obviously the top 8.
Yeah, 100%. They're looking great this year. Yeah. On to the next game. Eels defeat Tigers. Yeah. You were down at the game. Eels defeat the Tigers 28 points to 20. What'd you make of it live?
I thought the Eels were probably the luckiest team in the world in the first half. I thought a lot of the penalties were justified, but Jesus, every penalty they got was like coming out of their own end.
Yeah.
I think they got it 4 times in a row, coming out of their own end. Even the first tackle of the game, old mate got smashed, lost the ball. They called that a head high. That was the first tackle of the game. And then they just kept getting out of their end. And then Para were creating a lot, but just weren't finishing it. A lot of drop ball. They were kind of getting off the line. I think they had 2 tries disallowed as well. That Sean Lane try cost me dearly. Fair. Cost me dearly. But Tigers were really good, and they with even everything that went against them early in the game, the 4 penalties, the Eels having all the ball, they managed to get back in the game, score 2 tries, and I thought, hang on, the Tigers are going to roll the Eels here.
Yeah.
But the Eels found a way to win a different way, which it's probably the win they need, to be honest. They weren't great, but they needed to win.
Yeah. Look, I don't think it's good signs for Para. Like, leaking 20 points against the team that's coming last. I had a look. When Para versus the 3 worst attacking teams in the comp, they've had 5 games against them. They're averaging 24.5 points against. So like every single time they've versed a bottom 3 side, they've leaked 20 points or more.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, they're the 3 worst attacking teams in the comp.
But not against you guys.
Not against us. And like I tell you this every single week. Every team looks awesome when they play Parramatta. Like the Tigers last week, they got done by the Warriors, 22-2 or something, and they looked shit. Like
and they were good against yous at Leichhardt. Like they played good footy, man. I was liking what I was seeing. It's Pandora's box. I don't know. Some teams wish they could play Para every week.
Honestly, mate, it's hard. It's hard being a Para fan.
And then you go to the Storm and the Panthers. They never want to play Para. They're nah, we don't want to play there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a killer stat. But I will come back to the Eels. Even last year or the year before, this is a game they lose.
Yeah.
When they have all the ball and they don't get it done early, and then the other team comes back, scores 2 tries, and then it's like game over for the Eels. But they stuck in there. I thought Marnie was really good. Moses was outstanding, especially coming from behind, which isn't his game. He was really good. Gutho was bang average, but everyone else was good. And I thought it was a good win for Para.
Yeah. All right, nice.
Eventually, it was a good win.
Danger game.
Always a danger game.
Every game is a danger game.
But geez, they were on the wrong side of some calls. I did agree with a lot of them, but there was a lot going.
Yeah.
A lot going against them. The last game, Jesus, I feel like the Dragons bottled this one. A lot of players out for the Broncos. Corey Oates also admitted from this game. The Broncos still get it done, 32-18. What'd you make of this one? I didn't get to watch this one because of work. I saw Tarek Sims got sin bin twice in one half.
In one half, yeah. The first sin bin, so Adam Reynolds takes the ball to the line. If you take the ball to the line, you're going to expect to get hit. Yep. He gets hit. They say it was late or whatever. The ball, when he passed it, the ball hadn't even reached Ezra Mam when he got hit. So I don't understand how that's late. I thought he was hard done by there. Maybe a penalty at worst.
Yeah,
but
I think they've gone overboard on that at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like a sin bin, unbelievable. His second sin bin, now I think it's a bit soft, but comparing it to other similar shots that have been sin bins, all right, yeah, you'll say that's fair. Since they've been cracking down since when was it? Magic Round last year on the head highs have been, yeah. I think it was, maybe fair. But the Dragons were in that game, and I think towards the back end, obviously being a man down for 20 minutes, obviously fatigue's going to set in, and then you're going to start kind of falling out of the arm wrestle there. So I think it was good for the Dragons to even score 18 points.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Without Ben Hunt? Yeah.
Yeah. Without Ben Hunt and down to 12 men for 60 minutes. For 60 minutes with 12 men, I think they did all right.
Yeah, they scored with 12 men. The Moses Sully try, they were down a man. Okay,
well, there you go. Yeah, I thought they did all right. It could have been a lot worse, considering.
Yeah. I think it's a good win for the Broncos, too. They'd had a couple of losses. They needed to bounce back.
Yeah.
And Adam Reynolds was a lot better in this game. I watched the mini version. He looked pretty good. I wanted to talk about how they're going to fit everyone in. So, obviously, I don't know if we've talked since Walshy. Yeah, I think we did. Walshy coming to the team.
Yep.
How are they going to fit all these players in? I think something's got to give because you got Coates, you got Walsh, you got Mam. They're all up and comers that you would think would be a part of that spine going forward for a lot of years.
Coates. Oh, Xavier.
Coates.
I was thinking Oates. Sorry, my bad.
Not Coates.
No. Cobbo.
That's who I was thinking. Not Coates. You're right.
I wasn't right.
Yeah. You were right that I was right, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cobbo. I'm thinking something's got to give, and I think that something is Herbie Farmworth. I think he'll squeeze out of this side.
So, what are you thinking? Cobbo into the centres?
I think that's where they want to progress. I think they want to move him a little bit closer to the ball, and then eventually he'll go to fullback and Walsh into the halves when Reynolds retires at the end of 24. It's looking like.
So Mam to 7.
Yeah.
Reece,
that was the long term fix for them anyway. They wanted Mam to eventually be a 7. So Mam, Walsh, Cobbo, and then they'll probably have to get a 9.
Get a 9 in. Yeah, so Billy Walters isn't doing too bad this year.
I think he's older than what people think. Though I think he's like 28.
No way.
Yeah.
He only started playing a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Walters. Well, he started playing NRL. He's 28.
Oh wow.
Next year, the start of next year, he'll be 29.
Oh, so he's an older boy.
Yeah, so definitely not a long-term option. But anyway, I want to talk about Farmworth because I think he's outshone Stags this year for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's really, really good. And he thinks he's a fullback. He's told the Broncos he wants to play fullback. The Broncos have told him that he'll get an opportunity to play fullback. That remains to be seen considering they just signed Reece Walsh. So nice. I think he'll go elsewhere. Who could use a fullback right now? I think the Warriors should have a massive run at Herbie Farmworth and just move
Chance
into the centres or something. Bring in Farmworth.
I think they would have told Chance like he'll get first crack at fullback.
Yeah, well, just tell him. You can tell him. They told Herbie that he'd get a crack at fullback too.
I think they told Cobbo as well he'd get a crack at fullback. And
Katoni,
they told Katoni he'd get a crack at 5'8".
Yeah, they did. They just say anything. They say, yeah, sure. Payne Hass probably asked if he could play halfback too. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking to our mate at Vodafone, and he was saying, because I told him like what the blokes told me when I first signed up for my phone, like back in the day, and he was saying, yeah, they just say anything to get you to sign up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what the Broncos do. The Broncos might as well be sponsored by Vodafone.
Yeah, Vodafone Broncos, yeah.
Farmworth, where could he go? Who needs a fullback? Obviously, the
Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs. Could go to the Dolphins.
Could go to the Dolphins. I think the Titans are right. The Cowboys are all right. Another team.
The Cowboys could go to the Cowboys. Let's not rule out the Cowboys. Let's not just breeze over the Cowboys.
Would you rather have him or Scotty?
No, well, Chad's Scotty into the halves. Bring up Farmworth.
So how long's Chad got left? He's got 2 years after this year.
It's flexible.
Flexible? Well, yeah.
He's going all right.
He's actually,
I think Farmworth's going to be hot property in this market.
He should come to Para. He should go to Para and play in the centres.
No, he wants to play fullback.
No, do you want to play fullback at a bad team or play in the centres for a good team? Like, well, that's the pitch.
That's the pitch.
That's the pitch.
He's only on contract till the end of 23 too. So,
and next year
yeah, they can start negotiating with him come November. I think we'll hear this name pop up a lot. I think he has the ability to be special. Especially only 22, has a lot of time to develop, and he has looked great this year.
Oh, man, even the Dragons could use a fullback. Who do they got? They got Sloan.
And Sloan's got to find a way to get back into this team, though.
Just got to work on his defense. Put a bit of size on. I think he's just too skinny, and I think people just run over him. And he's got a bit of size on and work on his defense.
All right, I'll make sure to let him know. All right, that's it for this week. Go Queensland. Queensland 13 plus, obviously.
Never.
Load up. Queensland 13 plus. Easy clap.